Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Behind the Blowhole. My name is Sash. We have quite a crew here. Let me introduce you to Ash Cat,
Hello.
our Robin Queefers. Hello.
Hello again.
Fucking dickhead who was at 5 o'clock in the morning still here last night as I looked on the camera drinking my alcohol. Piece of garbage.
I was hosting a party.
Yeah, shit.
I had a reason.
More importantly, fuck you.
Oh.
Brady Bunch. I can't even tell you how excited that I am to honestly have you here.
You know what? I'm just as excited to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's jump right in here. I mean,
Do you want that?
Brady Bunch,
Do you want that up a little?
Sorry.
No.
music career, right?
Yep. Music side hustle that kind of got some legs. So yeah, I'm happy about it.
You have over 900,000 followers
Yeah.
on Instagram. You opened for DaBaby and Tekashi 6ix9ine, is that what it is?
Yes.
You are the non-binary boxing champion.
Yes.
Ninja.
Ninja. Sorry, non-binary ninja.
That's my non-music
I love
nickname
that. I
now.
love that.
Right? Very marketable. They
Yeah.
slash them. They
You
smash them.
tried to box Caitlyn Jenner, and that went viral, right? On TMZ.
So that was another. So what a lot of people don't realize, you have to strike when the time's right. And it's all about, I think you probably get this in the business world, networking, being at the right time and the right opportunity, improving yourself, and being brave enough to say some shit.
So are you Brady Bunch?
Yeah, so this is an interesting story. So my artist name is Brady Bunch, Braydbunch. It's all one word. But before it became my artist name, you guys want to hear a story how it kind of came up with?
Yes, please.
So I'm divorced, was married to a woman. As you guys know, you normally get married and you don't expect to get divorced, right? So the irony was my ex-wife was all about social media and I wasn't really. In fact, I was anti-Instagram.
Introvert for one period of time.
Yes, and she used to come to me all the time and she would show me these like couples online with huge followings. The irony is one of them became like a boxer. It was part of what inspired me to try some stuff again. But she always wanted to be like a couple that became famous online.
Okay.
And I would tell her she was crazy, right? But she always wanted to do it. And I remember warning her, very often couples that blow up online or in the media, they're really not happy and they end up splitting up. But she kept going, wanted to have kids, like she wanted the kids to be part of this show, right? So whatever. One day I decided to create an Instagram and I made it our Instagram. And since my last name is Brady, and that's what I tell most people to call me, I was like, you know what? We're our own little Brady Bunch, right?
All right.
So initially, I had this shared account with my ex-wife, who, not to come off any type of way, but pretty attractive, right? Definitely
Yeah.
my type.
She was.
So how should I put this? So I guess my warning came to fruition. And one day, the two of us went to, I think it was a Century 21 in Brooklyn. That's where we were living.
Not the real estate office, the clothing store.
Yes, the clothing store.
Okay.
Which I think they shut down and just reopened again, whatever. But imagine, I'll get to the point. I'm sorry, I'm being too wordy. We took this photo. And I'd say we both looked pretty feminine, right? I posted it, and before I know it, I wake up in the morning, and this shit naturally went viral, right? And I have all these people reaching out, and they're like, oh my God, you're trans, and you're with an actual cis woman like that. You give me so much faith, so much hope. So I get all these people writing to me about how they're inspired by this, but the truth was, that was the beginning of the end for me and my ex-wife. I was teaching in New York City at the time. And imagine I had these kids. I was working in a new school. Very different backgrounds than me. And one day, I was teaching history at the time. So one day, I come in over a break. I wanted to motivate the kids. I ended up recording the worst hip hop mixtape over like spring break ever. And I come in, it's all like historically based. I play it. The kids all laugh at me. But I try to act all tough. And I'm like, yo, you guys think you could beat Shady Brady in a rap battle?
Oh, I love it.
Katie Brady.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine instantly all these kids come up to me. And imagine there's these kids that could never write an essay. And suddenly they're like writing verse after verse
Aw.
with historical facts in it. Some of them recorded it on music. And I was like, yo, I'm on to something here. I was like, and I always had a passion for music, kind of left out a lot of my past, right? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to start an after school, like beat making club. So imagine I get this
fun. It's cool.
outside not-for-profit company that's going to help me out, supposedly. They send me this quiet 5'6", mid-20s white guy that like barely said a peep at first. And then actually the person helping me get this off the ground was my former coworker, Stephen Roberts, who, believe it or not, way back in the day, he's in his 50s, black man, great role model for the kids, have seen a lot. But he actually opened for Wu-Tang back in the day. And he was on his way to the top. He can sing and rap. But then he got his girlfriend pregnant, and let's just say that changed things for him. He kind of had to give up that career. But imagine we start this club. Imagine like 30 kids come in after school.
Oh,
We're trying to teach them beats. It's going horrible. We're like 3 weeks in. It's like a disaster. So imagine two things happen. I go up to the mic one day. I saw some kid like doing a freestyle. Everyone laughed at him. I decided to take the mic, battle back. If they laugh at me, someone gets on the mic. So right there, I knew something was happening. But then flash forward to the next session. I could just tell we might be losing some kids. I walk up to this little quiet white guy, Lou. Lefty Lucy is his nickname. And I'm like, yo, we have to do something to sell this program to these kids. And he's like, yo, I think I have an idea. So imagine he turns to these kids. He's like, yo, kids, have any of you ever heard of A Boogie? Who, by the way, you guys probably don't know A Boogie, but like, this was like his peak in New York City. All the kids worshipped him, right? So immediately the kids are like, yeah, of course. And then this guy just says out loud, he's like, yo, yeah, I was recording him this weekend in the studio. You want to hear some like unreleased tracks? So I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, how is this? Wait, this guy's recording the biggest rapper in the city right now, right? So he plays an unreleased song, and it was like a dog whistle went off. So imagine I'm sitting there in this classroom, big metal door shut, and suddenly you hear banging on the door. We open it up, and it's like 15 kids that somehow heard the music blasting, recognized the voice, came in, and from that point, I was like, all right, this is sold. So imagine I find out that there's this guy is working with Kanye, is working with Ariana Grande, sang him happy birthday
Oh,
on
no
his
shit.
birthday because he was working with her. Ironically, it's like been like a few years now. He just literally posted he's involved with the track she just released, and it's like her biggest, I think, release yet. Like,
Oh, that's great.
so this guy's like a superstar. He's been Grammy nominated, and here he is helping me out like for free. So that's where I was like, yo, we're onto something. So imagine he starts making the beats, and then me and this guy, Mr. Roberts, start rapping with these kids, right?
Mr. Roberts' neighborhood.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, right? His rap name was Steezy.
Oh my God.
So imagine one day we're sitting there. There's a lot. I'm sorry.
Fucking this is awesome. What are you kidding me?
Saying the how you even, yeah, no, I love it. I just love the music, even the Tom rap.
So mind you, part of this story is I was going through some shit on the job. Turns out when you transition on the job, even in the liberal city of New York City, they'll try to bury you, especially when I was a little bit ahead of the game. So let's just say I was going through some disgusting stuff. Eventually I went to the EEOC. I end up winning there. The city backs out. And we end up in federal court. And that's really the story that everyone should know about, the disgusting shit that I went through. But I'm going to leave that for now.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked.
But imagine I'm literally like going through, I'm going to keep it real, depression. Getting treated like shit by people that would have never treated the old me like shit, which is pretty infuriating.
Pretty fucked.
And what I describe when someone like me goes through a transition, this is kind of my second rodeo. I tried it when I was younger, secretly, got scared back into the closet. It's amazing how literally I felt privilege being like ripped from me, and then I gained it back. And then once again, I felt it being pulled away. And I think one day I just realized, you know what? Fuck it. Who are these people to treat me a type of way? I'm going to demand respect.
100%.
And suddenly I said, they almost burnt me to the ground, but I rose up like the phoenix. So I started in a way to rebel. I figured, the more noise I make, the more I'm myself. Fuck anybody. But guess what? I'm going to be empowering some other people. And so I eventually end up through this program. I'm recording all these mixtapes with kids. I'm performing at concerts with them. And what ended up part of the reason I went viral as well is, let's just say, my metal voice, some of the hip hop voice.
So good.
I whip out the growl, like
so
on purpose, right? Almost like, my voice isn't feminine enough for you, so you're gonna misgender me. So, for example, I'll walk into a Starbucks, and the person behind the counter, a dude, will like clearly be hitting on me, right? Talking sweet. And then I make the order, and suddenly it's like he thinks it's contagious, right? Oh, what bro, dude, man, sir, right? They all whip it out. So I like to have fun back sometimes. So part of me was like, you know what? I'm going to use my voice as a weapon. So imagine one day we're in this room. We got a mixtape going. The club's grown so big. We got kids in college coming back because they heard about it. We got other high schools coming. So imagine there's like 50 kids in this room with me, this Lefty, Lucy, and Steezy. And one of the college kids comes. He hops on this track. He goes first. All freestyle. And this kid came from the streets. So, everything most of these kids were saying was legit. And I love that they accepted me, right? So there we are. And then it comes my time for the mic. And that was the first time ever I whipped out the super growl.
The voice.
And it was something like, bang, 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 right? And imagine, I had no idea. Some kid had his Snapchat out, right? And he filmed it. And if you were to see this video, just like Steezy turns around, his jaw drops. Some kid gets out of his desk and is like running in circles. And imagine that went viral. And before I know it, I'm getting word from people in the city, like other teachers. They're like, they're playing like your mixtape. So I'm going to end the music story a little bit because this will make sense. This music thing, if I didn't get into shit teaching, I wouldn't have had half these experiences I ended up having. So part of this story is, and this is the craziest part, I have a letter from the EEOC saying my human rights were violated. All the city had to do was sit down and fucking settle. Instead, they waited to the first fucking day of the new school year to back out, which gave me a message. I have 90 days to file in federal court, or all the bullshit that happened to me, and I'm talking disgusting bullshit. They'll get away with it. So I file in federal court. And these fuckers doubled down. Part of this story is, ready, Sash? I don't know if she told you.
No.
This should be national news, in my opinion, and this is why they fucking silenced me time and time again. So part of the story is when shit would happen, when I survived chapter 1 out of like 4 chapters,
Right.
I reached out to Cuomo, de Blasio, sent them evidence. Imagine these motherfuckers reach out, acting like they want to help, but then they disappear. And I had to make a decision. Even though I proved all the bullshit I went through in this first school, they were like, you have to sign this paper to get a safety transfer to another school by this time or the deal's off. And at the time, the lawyer helping me out was like, sign it. Part of this story too is I'm very educated, very fucking accomplished. I've been a dean of students.
Yep.
I've been a guidance counselor. I've been a special educator and a history teacher. I started as a fucking para.
A ninja.
We started actually in her driveway smoking pot. That's where we started, but...
But hold up. I want to stay focused.
I know, I get...
So imagine going back, the city, this was happened as soon as I first made my complaint years earlier. There's certain guidelines based around hiring. Usually, city has it spelled out, qualifications, seniority, depending on the position. I watched year after year the positions that I knew I was the only person that was supposed to get hired for go to others. That's where they hit you. So guess what? Part of this story is in March, shortly before my boss calls later on, I saw the writing on the wall. I knew they were stepping shit up. They were gaslighting me in meetings. I've been discriminated against so many years in the DOE. I see it coming. I sat parents down. I sat kids down. And I sat some former coworkers down and a few coworkers that I thought would believe me. And then when I got shipped away, do you know who came to support me? It was the parents. It was the fucking kids.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That is.
they love you.
And-
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yes.
I want to.
Yeah, I'm kind of blown away myself. I couldn't.
Do you want
So
me to jump
bad.
to how this ties to the music?
Please
All
do.
right. So long story short, what I realized is, holy shit, I have a platform. And I said to myself,
Yes.
I will never fucking be silenced again.
No.
And you know what? I'm going to make these motherfuckers scared that
Including
my
your old
story
friends.
will get to someone. I realized when I got shipped away, I wrote the best fucking rap songs, which by the way are unreleased, but I have performed them. I've gotten ovations for them. It brought something out of me. And when I play some people some of this
We've
shit,
always
they're like,
liked
yo, it
music.
reminds me of like old school Slim Shady.
Yeah.
I have a diss track about Governor Cuomo, right?
love
Where I
that.
talk about
I don't like him, by the way.
Yes,
he
I
does
fucking
it.
hate him. And I talk about banging his bisexual daughter. It's fucking awesome, right?
It's fucking fantastic.
He
Yes.
fucking loves us. Put it on the TV.
So
we need this.
flash forward, I keep making music. I'm performing. I'm getting some of my students interviews.
Yeah, that was very cool. Yeah.
The 6ix9ine thing. I knew how controversial he was. And part of my story,
was a
I
little-
studied the things he was doing.
I was nervous. I was like, "You're gonna go down there." I was like, "I'm a little, going to Texas." I'm like, "I don't know." Like, I know you can handle
I mean, this is
yourself.
so.
but-
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Like the baby Takashi, when they heard your story, is that what some of the appeal was?
So I think the baby was trying to fix some of his anti-LGBT stuff.
Okay, I don't know about it.
He
Yeah,
got-
in the past, he went
kinda
pretty
got-
hard in the paint.
Yeah, he
Like,
kind of got canceled in
Yeah.
the sense he said a lot of things about AIDS and LGBT people at a concert, and that was basically the end of, I'd say,
Him.
his giant money making.
Of him, yeah.
Though he does well, right? Big name, right? The 6ix9ine, right place, right time.
Yeah.
I was so part of the story is I was chasing connections and studying 6ix9ine. At one point, I reached out to this guy Yaksha, who many people don't realize, overseas guy from Slovakia. How did 6ix9ine blow up? He went over to Slovakia, bonded with
Wow.
this guy who eventually became the president of Def Jams over there, right? And that 6ix9ine originally was blowing up songs in this little European country.
Wow.
And then people would see the numbers there. And when he came back, he was a superstar. So guess who
Wow.
I reached out to and befriended? Yaksha.
Yeah, you know who to.
So my biggest, most successful EDM song is largely because Yaksha put it on his label as a big premiere.
That was good.
It was
yeah.
huge. So once I did that, I just kept following connections, found a promotion team, hyped myself up, and then I was offered the 6ix9ine thing. Guess what? I knew my lawsuit was going to end soon, so I start advertising that. I'm getting media
Yeah. We're
spots.
signing it.
I'm letting my other coworkers know, oh, I'm going to South by Southwest too. I got all these shows, it's gonna be big interviews. And right before this, happened to be a Black History Month concert. So guess what? Me and my kids went and performed. And guess what? The Union came, WPIX came, and this is where I actually performed the songs talking about what the fuck happened to me. And imagine I had staff members in that room
Oh, God.
that was able to point at,
They knew, like.
Wow.
and they
oh,
knew
that's
it,
great.
Oh, you're a nasty fuck.
and they were
Yeah.
right?
I love it. Always. I love it.
So then
She's
imagine
great.
this show ends. I literally like to my boss, hey, I'm taking
fuck
off for the
yourself.
next week. Got these big shows, big interviews, right? I fly down to South by Southwest, get a phone call from my lawyer, and my lawyer's like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Meanwhile, this is
I
my
was
third
performing.
lawyer. I'm convinced my first lawyer was bought out by them. That's a whole nother story. Fucking scary shit. He went from being so helpful to trying to sabotage my fucking case to the point, whatever. I'm gonna stop there because he might be able to sue me.
Yeah,
but for
don't
real,
say shit about
if you
that.
knew what this guy was doing moments before I was walking into court with that magistrate judge, fucking crazy. But to go back, third and final lawyer calls me up. And they're like, yo, they're actually offering you what you wanted. Meanwhile, everyone kept telling me I wasn't going to get that thing. And when I was at the magistrate judge, when they didn't know what I was talking about and they threw that fucking measly number at me, I remember saying, I've made a promise to myself and a promise to some kids, because part of this story involves queer kids getting bullied, beat up, and it was covered up. Guess who was reporting it? And then the schools tried to claim none of that shit happened. Oh, and when I got shipped away, what changed things too was I sent that recording of me having the meeting with my boss about that, and also where he was denying me a bathroom key. Part of this story is when they gave me the safety transfer, they told me they had no bathroom keys left. So for like 2 years, I fought for a bathroom key, and then when they finally gave it to me...
Where the hell did you go to the bathroom?
Yeah, where the fuck did you...
I was supposed to go to the public bathroom in another part of the building, and then when they finally gave me the key...
Another part of the building.
They gave me a key all the way to the basement, where I was on the 5th floor.
Oh, that's fucking bizarre.
Right? And then they tried to deny it, but
That's
who had
fucking
fucking
bizarre.
proof? These scumbags shipped me away.
These fucking people.
And that's where I sent that tape, and I knew shit would change then. But that tape was involving the first school the superintendent ran. So now I had this whole other one. I go and do this performance. That happened. Same week, I did a ridiculous thing, talking about 6ix9ine. You may have seen it. I was being interviewed by DJ Drewski.
That was a good interview.
Yeah, and imagine celebrity boxing ends up reaching out while I'm in fucking Texas for literally the day after I get the call that my lawsuit's ending.
I went to that.
I watched the fight.
We had a fucking blast. People were popping bottles. Brady, they're popping bottles in the hallway. Pictures with you. It was like, it was very, very cool.
Yes, and listen.
I felt very cool.
From that moment,
Very cool.
I feel blessed because I'm finally fucking free. I'm finally able to heal. And now the music.
That was cool.
The music got better. I went to music production school too. That's how I got better at the
It's fucking incredible story.
Yeah.
I really had no idea.
Rose from the ashes.
I'm actually I had like all these notes I was gonna.
For you to shut him and I up both and make us speechless, I gotta tell you.
Well, so
incredible.
Yeah, that's it.
let me piggyback a little bit on some of the stuff that you're talking about because.
And then let us know when the book is coming out.
All right. And you know what? Since it's a public school, I found this out. Private company, I would have had to sign something and keep my mouth shut. It's against your First Amendment right.
Oh, so write the book,
so
baby.
I can't have a book.
That's a good point. Yes, that makes sense. My wife was a teacher and worked in private schools before. Yeah.
Yes.
I think there's another area. I mean, so we're talking the schools and obviously the platform that you're using. Yeah. Being in the restaurant industry.
Yes.
I mean, I'm old school. I grew up in this business my entire life. Italian father, blah, blah, blah. As a restaurant owner, non-binary, even gay, lesbian, things like that has been fairly over in the last decade new, right?
Yes.
And for me, listen, I don't discriminate against anybody. I fucking hate everybody the same. I like everybody the same. I'm like, fucking, I don't care. I could look in the mirror and hate myself as much as the next person. But the truth of the matter is, I think what's inspirational about having you here is because you are kind of opening up all industries to everybody. Now, Ashley reached out to me. And so you worked for us,
yes,
for a summer. Was it two summers?
I think it might have been two, honestly.
I feel like just a little bit of the second.
And
definitely.
So Ashley shoots me a text message, right? She's like, I have this friend, Brady. She grew up as a guy, is looking for work. What do you think? Fucking via text message, by the way.
I feel like you told me to even ask that question. I feel like you're just make sure or something. And I was like, I guess, yeah. Weird text to send out. Like, hi, my friend.
First off, I would never fucking say no, but I actually thought it was funny because in the context of the message, I'm like, well, obviously, fucking, I have no issue now. Blah, blah, blah.
It reminds me of the Christina thing. I have this girl. There's this one thing.
Right. But so anyway, now listen, here's where I want to be honest about it because this story that you just told me, the way that you told it with such passion and it really like embodies who you are and who you've become.
Yes.
makes anybody, no matter what their belief system is, root for you. Really.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fucking honestly.
Yeah.
And I want to be the first to admit, not that I have an issue with any I have, gay brother-in-law. It means nothing to me. I don't care about that. But what I have to say is, and I think it's important for people to acknowledge that there can be a fear of uncomfortability, of something that you don't understand.
Without a doubt.
And I want to be honest about it. I don't understand it because I've been very sheltered for a long time. And I think it's important that it's brought out to other restaurant owners to not be afraid. I don't want to say purposely it didn't engage with you, but I speak very loudly through my fucking facial expressions, if you haven't told.
Scared you were going
Right?
to kick his ass or something. Put it that
So,
way.
and my
The
wife will
worst
say that too.
poker
So,
face in the history of poker.
so the first time that I bumped into you, I was like, Brady, right? And you didn't even fucking say a word to me. You just kind of like fucking smiled at me a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck was that about? You know what I mean?
She didn't even say hi. Nothing. What the fuck?
Blew me off.
The fuck?
No. You want to hear my response, actually?
Yes,
Right.
please.
So I'm trying to remember, but I think I remember. Was anyone else standing by you?
No.
Was he hiding in the walk-in?
Well, that's another story, which is a good story. No, but this was, I walked right past you, just looked at me and just kind of like gave this face and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, because I didn't know your whole story.
Yeah.
But to me now, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, listen, I mean, you were brought through the fucking ringer.
Yes.
You have to feel self-conscious about who you're approaching after something like that, I would imagine.
Yeah, you know what? I would say I saw some of the most disgusting sides of humans. So what I also know, so this is what's funny. You guys are now seeing the very lively, confident me. There are times where I know this, going back to like me ordering a coffee. There are some people that will want to fucking kill me just for being me, as disgusting as that is. And sometimes I'm afraid of, how should I put this? If someone nearby hears the voice, weird stares, sometimes my anxiety kicks in, or not really anxiety, where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be quieter. I'll use the voice when I have to.
So is that what that's, so the first time that I meet you face to face, it's kind of like less is more type of a thing. You don't want to kind of say anything because you're afraid that you're going to get a reaction or something?
Yeah, I think so, but I've done a lot to work on this, right? I think when you first met me, here's the truth. That trauma was still so fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot to get her even to work here in the same town and that we were in. We were not, it was
And here's the thing, too.
it was a lot.
I like that you brought this up, because it made me think of doing the catering.
Right.
There were times where I knew some of these men, they're going to be hitting on me.
Well, I got funny stories about that. Yes.
All right?
Great.
And I remember being like, oh, shit. I got to like try to talk a little softer or talk less because A, some of these motherfuckers won't tip me.
Yeah, we want to get tipped here.
B, sometimes I get some weird fucking questions that people don't realize are offensive. So like sometimes people think they're being allies, but they say really
They're
fucked
like,
up shit.
nah.
Right. Okay. It's a fair statement.
So I would say like I got slowly more comfortable using my voice more while working here. But I remember at first being like, yo, how will this drunk dude react? Or, and you know what's so funny is some of them I remember sometimes being like, oh, you're so quiet. I can't, but they didn't put it together, I think, right?
So one time I'm standing in the office and I look out the window and I see just the backside of you, right?
Yeah.
The long hair, and you're carrying two fucking kegs, one in each hand. And I'm like, oh, I fucking laugh. Because listen, I find the humor in everything.
great.
I'm not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I
course.
was like, this is fucking kind of funny, right?
It's great.
And I'm just blown away with the fucking story. And honestly, I'm impressed. I got to tell you, from a business perspective, one of the things that I was thinking, I was like, because I love business. I just love everything about business. And I'm always like looking at like the marketing aspect. I'm like,
Yes.
she's a fucking genius.
Yes.
Because
coming from you,
no,
I appreciate it.
I'm watching what you're doing and I'm fucking enamored, in awe. I'm like, oh my God, platform one, but a niche.
Yes.
I mean, you are unique
yes.
to your own niche.
And a voice for,
well,
you know,
so
a lot
when
of
I
people that
listened
don't
to
have the
some of the
courage you
rap
have.
music,
I mean,
I was fucking blown away because it's good.
All right.
It's really good. And it's
fun.
unexpected. And I got to tell you, there is no wonder that you have 900,000 followers, that you've opened up for the people that you've opened up with, that people are reaching out to you for the fucking celebrity fights.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking fantastic. I really do. And I'm like, just honestly honored that you're sitting here with us. And at the same point, I think it's important for me to admit that years ago, not that I would discriminate in any way, but I would be uncomfortable about how I would react. Not that I'm uncomfortable with the situation, I'm more uncomfortable with, would I react in a way that didn't show the respect that you deserve? Because I want to make sure that everybody feels respected, but I think subconsciously in my mind that my facial
you have a
expressions
fear
make,
you don't want to offend.
I'd be afraid about that.
And
But,
you don't know I could say something that's going to totally be fucking offensive.
well, you're fucking offensive with anybody. I mean, you're
That's
just a
not true.
fucking horrible fucking human being. Really. But I think what's so great is that
Opinions
you're
vary.
breaking the barriers down, because I almost think it's like the more, if you're self-consciously trying to avoid being offensive to people, the more the elephant's in the room, where it's like, we're just fucking people. Who cares? This is who you are. Fucking be
Well,
it.
I think it's you act like you show that uncomfortability.
She's never changed.
So
That's the thing, though.
Well, and that's what Ash
It's like-
says, which is so great about
It just
this.
makes it an awkward situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, like literally,
And-
I'm 35. What? I met Brady when I was 13.
And so with that, I mean, we just fucking unpacked this incredible, like, heroic story. And the truth of the matter is, and this
Great
is
way to
where
say
I
it.
want to get real, because I'm fucked up in the head, and I don't see your past. I see a funny fucking situation here that I think I'd be on, not funny like, if I could find I'm the kind of guy who like gets up in the middle of the night, and like, if I go to take a piss in the middle of the night, I'm like, what's funny is that I'm like peeing in the middle of the night. I love fucking
You're an old
humor
man.
in any, I'm like the Seinfeld shit. The question that I have, and not to be inappropriate, but just to kind of fucking break the barriers down.
Yeah.
If I was you, I mean, you got a great pair of fucking breasts. I got to be honest with you.
You know what? I get a lot of compliments.
They're fucking great.
I love it.
Let's be honest.
And let's put it this way.
How do you feel about them? Like, what do you?
So for me, I love them.
It's fucking intense. It's amazing.
So how should I put this?
I was excited to ask this question.
Yeah.
How should I put this? So one pleasant surprise of life after the divorce, I guess my ex convinced me that, no one would want to be with me, right? And what I've learned lately is, believe it or not, I'm killing it in the lesbian world.
Yes.
With
I want to hang out with you.
She got the
Sorry,
tits
honey.
in the divorce.
So
yeah,
fun.
and I get so many compliments on the breasts from both genders. But what I will say is, it was a game changer for me. And I would say, if this makes sense, part of this, so I'm a therapist, and I know everyone looks at it differently. But this is something I've been dealing with since my earliest memories. And by changing in certain ways, it was kind of interesting you get like a new body, the hormones change where things feel good.
Yeah,
So let's just say, like, my first time with a beautiful woman, maybe having some fun with them was just such a life-changing experience for me.
This is fucking so.
Where it was like, yo, I always dreamt of this, and I fucking made it.
I love you when you say,
And,
yo, just.
You know?
So you hook up with like sexy lesbians?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Brady's always got the ladies. I'll tell
See, but no,
You're my
here's the
fucking
thing, though.
hero.
I didn't have. So here, the old me.
This
didn't
is the
realize-
heroic
I'm
story.
telling you, like.
This is the other heroic
I told you,
story.
very popular. Like in high school.
But you
like,
know what?
I was so
I
lucky
didn't
to
have
be
the
friends
confidence.
with you know.
I like people. I think thought I was confident.
Keep
but
going,
I also
just-
didn't. I think I realized afterwards because I heard from a lot of the people. Like there was this girl I was crazy about, and I found out she had the biggest crush on me recently in high school.
And you
right?
would have
But
known.
I had no confidence, and I would say becoming like this.
But you
what I
didn't
always
like come
envisioned-
off like that when we were kids, though. You had people like up your ass and around the corner.
But guess what? I didn't.
And we
I
and
didn't
we
have
were
the
just
confidence to really.
we were
do
just
as
in
much as I
Lutz's
could've,
car listening
right?
to Forrest Gump soundtrack. We weren't
So
doing anything bad here.
can I ask a little bit more? I mean, the process of making the physical change
Yes,
had to be fucking scary.
without a doubt, and that's what I tell people all the time. Like, how brave do you have to be to go through with some shit?
Well,
like this,
I
right?
mean, really.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's.
Yeah.
I got my tonsils out. It took me 3 years to do it. I was scared.
Oh my
I
God.
cried on the way to the hospital with my knee.
Oh my
Look at
God.
this.
Yeah,
You
'cause you're a
didn't break
fucking
anything. Yeah,
pussy.
no.
See, but you know what? I was someone who I knew about this for so long, and I remember being like in middle school, looking this stuff up because I knew it was something in my head. I felt like I had to do
And-
ever since I was little.
And her friends were very like, I know she didn't want to say shit to these people. I'll tell you, they were like,
Yeah.
CC life here with the dudes at the school, man. Like, she
ultimate
didn't want to
bros.
like,
Right?
it was I
But-
get that. I know these people.
But guess what? Taking hormones, just to fill you guys in a bit. You can take testosterone blockers, or you can take a very high dose of estrogen. What happens early on, they usually tell you to start with like a testosterone blocker, and they might add a little dose of estrogen. There's a couple versions of testosterone blockers, but not the most common one. Not only does it block testosterone in your body, but it also stops part of your body from producing more of it. So like the longer you're on it, the less tests you will have. And then by adding some estrogen, it's kind
And
of
you'll
like
get the
lets
features,
the
yo.
estrogen take over.
Skills,
Yes.
Let me ask you this question. With the estrogen, does it add more emotions?
So here's the thing.
You're very
I
emotional
was
as is.
always emotional.
You're always
Yes.
always.
Do you hear the passion in her
Well,
voice?
that's what I mean. I'm listening to this story and I'm like, God damn it. I wanted to fucking ask all kinds of fucking questions about grabbing your own breasts and things
It
like that.
must
with
be
your
an
whole
April
mom.
Eighth
like a
thing.
dick, you're like,
And it was all
wait,
shut down
serious?
because this is
Shut
like,
down to
I was
shit.
inspired.
Right.
Honestly, it's fucking
But you know
Shit.
what? Yeah, I do love to grab my own breasts from
Why
time to
not?
time.
good for you.
Guess what? You gotta give them a massage.
How you
and
bang,
all
how you
that,
bang.
right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
It's an incredible story. And before we started, the one thing we were talking about is a little bit about the humility of being honest out there in the public.
Yeah.
Like, and I had said that I had, an alcohol problem, and I stopped drinking, and now that I'm public about it, not public, like who fucking gives a shit, but I'm not ashamed or embarrassed about it, and the reason is because when you actually come out with your story and swallow your pride and remove your ego, get rid of your fears and resentments, you become uniquely qualified, and you as a therapist are even more uniquely qualified to actually help people. And I can tell you something, there is no monetary value, there is nothing in the world that can compare to the feeling of actually helping somebody. So to come full circle with your entire story from the start is you're a hero in the sense that you are fighting for all the people out there by giving them the confidence. I mean, that's a fucking amazing story.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're very proud of yourself in that regard after all the shit that you went through.
Yeah, and you know what? That's part of why I didn't give up, and I kept fighting, because I do know I'm built a little different. And I remember thinking, if they've come this close to defeating me, ruining my name, taking my career away, all unfairly, well, guess what? I'm going to knock down every fucking wall I can. So the little babies that feel like me have it that much easier.
Well, I can tell you from the hospitality perspective, I'm extremely proud that we had you here.
Thank you. And I want to say, you hiring me really helped me out, because when I left teaching, I had to wait a little bit to get my first little check. And so I was struggling because they made me struggle. So I want to thank you, because you kept me alive for a little bit, and I did love the job.
Yeah, and you went direct to people you haven't seen forever too, from high school people.
Yes.
It was
and
great.
The one thing I have to say, maybe I'm wrong, but from my understanding is I never got the sense for 1 second that anybody that worked here had any issues except treated you like just one of them.
No, they loved.
And I thought that was really cool, something that I was really very proud of. And like I said, I personally have no issue with fucking anybody, black, white, green, purple, whatever the fuck. I just want to have a good fucking time, you know what I mean? And listen, if you're smart, you're smart. If you're dumb, you're dumb. Makes no fucking difference to me.
If you're intriguing, you're intriguing. If you're an asshole,
but
you're an asshole.
I was very fucking proud that we had you here. Now, I also want to fucking say that I think it's important to say is, my wife will be the first one to say that I have a very big mouth. And I say things a lot of the time for the shock value. I think I'm like, bump, you know what I mean? Like it's funny. And
it's not, yeah.
And I'll go downstairs and say I love fucking South Park. I find South Park to be fucking hysterical, right?
Always.
Yes.
So there's the fucking joke that when I go downstairs and the place is dirty, right? And I'm like, it looks like fucking AIDS or whatever. And it's just a stupid, right? Or if I stub my fucking toe, something terrible will come out of my mouth that I probably wouldn't say. But the context that it's in is just me just being stupid.
Yeah.
Can we wash the hepatitis off the wall?
Right, but you wonder, let me ask you this question. When somebody says something like that out in that type of context, could you get insulted in any way?
So here's the thing. I think it depends on the person.
True.
What I'll say is this, going back to pronouns, I'm really good at knowing when someone just doesn't know what to call me or slipping up. And then I'm really good at knowing when you're trying to fuck with me.
Right.
Oh, yeah, when you're saying it. I've told Brady, look, I'm the one who might slip up just because I've known her for my whole life. So it's and I'm very good at saying her. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm talking really fast to her on the phone, I may slip a little bit, but you know what? I bring it back and revert. I'm not ever trying to say she's a dude. I've just known her my whole entire life. It's just, it's just, I guess I was used to it forever.
Right, and I know you no other way. Yes. So I respect.
That's what I said today. Yeah. So it's just, for everyone it's different. But
I appreciate that you're open to, not judging the fucking jerk offs like myself that.
And going back to what Ashley said, my best friends from back in the day, very bros.
The broest bros of all bros.
Right? And so guess what? I'd say my closest friends from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some inappropriate jokes, and I'll play up to it.
Because I always thought that everybody was like that. I thought everybody's just fucked
regardless.
up.
That's
right? And guess what? I love being able to dish it back.
Yes.
You guys
crosses the line. How are you going to explain
their group of friends was always group of friends.
This tranny beats your ass, right? Right.
Yeah, it was nice. So, we got friends from home to the celebrity boxing, and we sat ringside. One of her best friends from childhood.
And
we got there, and it was great.
I think humor is often the best way to bring people together. It can also divide you, right? But if you're laughing, and that's the thing. I think part of the problem with some of the younger LGBT people today, or just not even them, the younger generations, we're kind of living in like a very cancel culture, overly
can't
PC,
say it, yeah.
right? Where everything could be offensive. And I do miss some of the old humor from the past, right?
Sure.
Even the
some
movie,
of it needs to be let go of, right? But like, for example, my call out video for celebrity boxing, like I threw in like, do you have the balls to fight Braydbunch, right? Like
That's funny.
Yes,
I love the
guess what?
persona that she put.
That's funny.
It also takes away what the Eminem move from 8 Mile. I'm gonna name parts about me, and now you can't fucking come for it.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like,
it's
I already covered it, right?
So good.
And what I love doing too when I get attacked online is just there's actually this comedian, something Keegan. He's like a Long Island comedian.
That's funny.
We crossed paths on Facebook one day, and let's just say he tried to use his humor to make a clown of me.
Oh yeah,
So
not
we went
clowning
back
you.
and forth probably for like a few hours, coming back with comments.
Oh my
I'm
God.
comparing him to John Candy, right? And then in the end, guess what? This guy ends up following me, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not used to like the LGBT people being able to dish it back." Right?
Yeah, like, I can.
But that's a great story.
Great.
That's a great story because
great.
I think, I mean, language is language, but being genuine, that's what it's all about.
that's really
You know what I mean?
Yes. Do you guys know Jake Shields by any chance?
No, I'm not sure.
He was a UFC fighter. I forget if he became UFC champ, but he was a champ in the league that they bought, whatever. Rolls with like Nate Diaz and them. He's been very controversial because he's been outspoken against trans people, right? To the point where some trans fighters have like challenged him to fight. But he's really he's been outspoken against trans women fighting female athletes. He also is convinced this is overhyped. We're coming for the kids, right?
Fucking bizarre.
But imagine he crossed paths with me one day, leaving a comment, and this guy is like probably in the trans community, probably now Sean Strickland, but a lot of people hate this guy's guts, right? Because he's so outspoken. So guess what? He comes across my comment, and he starts attacking me. He's like, "Oh, you like beating up women, you fucking man," right? All that type of shit. So that's where I just reply back to him, like, "Do your fucking research before you speak to me." And I'm like, "Go check my page. I only fight people with my own DNA." And then he got popped for like using a drug that he shouldn't have had one. So I forgot what he said to me.
Bye now.
I was like, "What? You shouldn't be talking. We all know you got popped back in, blah, blah, blah." He ended up coming back because he did look into me. He's like, "Hey, I just want you to know, I'm sorry. I fully support you." And that's what I realized.
They don't know until...
A lot of them think we're all 100% have the same views, right? And like you were saying, I'm sick of hearing about people with the right and the left. In fact, I'm sick of seeing people like, "Oh, fucking liberal, conservative." I've always been somewhere in the middle. Maybe I'll end up in this issue on this side.
Yeah.
This on that shot.
Exactly.
We live in a fucking world where everyone's black or white these days. And it's just, it's like a fucking football team in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Right? And it's just insane.
We were just talking about that. You said the Super Bowl. Did you see that all over the internet today? The NFL slipped up and made like a press release.
No, I didn't.
About looking forward to the
I can't believe you saw that since you were busy drinking in my restaurant till 5 in the morning.
With the UFC
We had
crew.
a party. You remember parties? Remember those?
Oh, God.
We're looking forward to the Ravens and the 49ers in the Super Bowl on February 11th. Before the games were even
Okay,
over.
so let's see if that's right. And let's bet for it.
No.
FanDuel.
Let us ask you this: Where can
49ers
everybody follow? And you have another fight coming up.
Yeah, so
Tell us about this.
So this two things. What sucks is my most recent fight, which was supposed to be days from now, my opponent backed out. So I was supposed to be flying to Providence, Rhode Island. Was so excited.
For Rough and Rowdy.
And then this guy backed out. So I'm hoping I get to fight him on the next card. But I do have a fight, I think, coming up in March. And this is what's cool. Because part of what I want to change the world about, I want to fight other trans athletes. Right?
Hells yeah.
Yes.
Right? So we're starting the World Trans Fight League. There's this guy Tom Sconzo.
It's fucking
Wait,
amazing.
yeah, that name is very familiar.
When is it? I want to go to the next fight. Desperately.
So
Yes.
actually, knowing, I've told Ashley this before.
Yeah.
I've literally said to Ashley for probably the last year, it's like I have to go sit with Sash.
Oh, yeah,
I have so
she
many
has.
fucking ideas.
Diff-
I can tell he's into marketing. So like this fight supposedly is going to be held at Mulcahy's. So clearly
Oh, it's
you guys
perfect.
will be invited,
That's
right?
perfect.
Amazing.
But
going.
part of me, what I want to talk to you about, I've got all these ideas for possibly hosting some type of fight event here in the future.
Fucking
Fight, we need a ring.
That brings
And
Rock the
that's
Doc
when they'll
That's awesome.
to a
fight.
whole nother
Rock the
level.
doc, yeah, rock the doc. We'll fucking rock
Holy
the doc.
shit.
But I have so many ideas, and what's cool is this. I've hopped from a bunch of gyms on the island, so I have all these athletes.
Oh,
not
yeah,
just
you-
LGBT athletes, right? That would love to hop on cards, that would come and support. But yes, it sounds like it's either going to be March or April. And it sounds like we're talking about
Not
it's
April
either
8th.
going to be an all-trans tournament, and whoever wins gets the belt.
Oh man.
I wish you brought the celebrity boxing belt
I
that
wish I
Dave
did
tried to
too.
take from you at Rough and Rowdy.
This
Tried
is
to-
fucking cool.
tried
Good
to
thing the
take
brewery,
that
we
belt.
expanded it. We could make it like Fight Club in there.
Yes.
Do it
You
right in
should
the
put
brewery.
the celebrity
Put a ring.
boxing belt in a
be
in a
great.
case in the restaurant and have you sign it like fucking straight up.
I gotta tell you, I mean,
And you guys know Steamroller.
Exactly.
So I'm
He was
sure
here
would
last
come
night.
and help pipe it up
Yes.
and support it, right?
yeah, I
Oh,
was honestly, I'm friggin' honored to have you. This
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Cool.
How does everybody follow you? Not that you're hard to find, but
So you
Apparently
know what?
900,000 people know
Yeah,
how to do
really.
it.
Yeah.
I would say the best, my baby, it's Instagram. So
Yeah.
I'm going to spell it slow. It's Braydbunch, all one word, spelled funny. BRAYDBUNCH. I'm also, you guys could find random stuff of me.
I think more importantly, how do we get your people to follow us? Jesus.
Yeah, so clearly,
Yeah.
I'm going to tag the shit out of you guys.
Put in a good word
Bless
for
you.
us
I might
900,000 times, please.
Part of me is even debating, because talking about marketing, I did know some like companies that help out. So part of me is wondering if I could get some type of little press release tied to this.
Listen,
Yeah, we'll do something
I-
fun.
you know, and the one thing that I feel like we want the Whale's Tail to be like your house. I mean, you were here.
Can you come back? Yeah.
You know
so
what I
can
mean?
you come
I
back?
mean, this
Yeah.
is like,
The next fight,
No, not even that.
can we
Brady
put the
come back
whale's
to
tail
work?
logo on like
I would
the
love that, actually.
are you fucking kidding me? It's
It's
amazing.
fucking great.
I can't.
Wow.
I can't. I can't.
And you know what? To be honest, right?
Can I
you
be
got
the corner
brewery
guy like
going still.
Paulie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we knocked.
That brewery, I feel like a lot of these organizations and whatnot, they would love to work with your brewery. I could see it
Oh
being
yeah,
like,
it's
Well, if you're not too fucking busy conquering the world, you should bartend in the fucking brewery.
yeah.
this year.
Come, what,
So you know
yeah.
what?
Or me and you Friday nights.
I gotta get my license.
Yeah. No, you don't even
You
need.
don't need
no,
a fucking
we don't
license
fucking.
over there to pour beer.
No.
All right.
You'll be good.
That would
You'll
be
good.
fucking cool.
How cool.
And you know what? So
She's
funny.
only the voice of a movement,
I
but
told
yeah,
you.
she'll go do a fucking Monday at the brewery. Could you work that into you after the press
Yeah,
conference?
yeah.
You could come here and pour beer for a bunch of fucking schmucks.
After the Barstool Sports fight.
Hey, on a good night, you might make $18.
Oh, shut
my
the
God.
fuck up.
No. You'll make.
I know. It's a good point. We're just,
You know what, too? I'm just going to throw it out there. I think I told Ashley this. I was like, yo, I want to talk to Sash. Let's
Yeah.
start a side brand, like an LGBT catering service, LGBT weddings, LGBT.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, at
I
least
love
they
it.
can go and talk to like Brady and like she could be like, oh, decorate this. I'll help with this. Da 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 da.
Oh, you want your wedding officiant to be a drag queen? I know
Boom.
the person.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
have my
Fantastic.
my two cousins LGBT. I love them more than anything in the world. So it is something that's important to me too.
All right.
Just to be a part of it in any way. And even though my fucking mouth may run wild because I'm just a fucking jerk off, that's all. But, you know, my heart is with everybody. I love and hate everybody equally.
Exactly.
I got to tell you, I'm speechless a little bit today. You really, really knocked us out. And I appreciate you being here. Anything in closing we want to make sure that we get?
You know what? Basically, let me think. Let's
Well,
musically talking. I like that you like my hip hop because I have basically an unreleased hip hop album that's just been sitting there now for almost 2 years. I have almost probably 50 to 100 semi-finished or finished EDM tracks.
I want to do a song with
good.
you. You know, I've been restarted taking
fucking do
guitar lessons again when the pandemic started.
All right.
And
Can
I
we
could
play her music in the restaurant instead of fucking Pepper Radio?
Yes, absolutely.
Pepper Radio.
Maybe we can write a song
Terrible.
together.
Pepper
It's got to be
finally
a comedy
died.
song because I'm fucked up in the head, but
Yes.
that would be awesome.
You want to know the truth? I'd say. So
You're
this-
very good at the
That's
comedy
what's
ones.
so funny because I'm working on the rock album with this awesome producer. And I know I love the hip hop, right?
Yeah,
but
you-
they'll be like, you know what? I feel like the hip hop, it's almost like you're winking a little. Like you're always joking around, right? And I'm like, yeah, but that's part of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
So I'm so down for this. And part of me, yeah, I like that you're taking the guitar lessons. I know you're a Metallica fan.
I am.
I think I saw you at, who else was it?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
I did. I fucking love all kinds
We
of
like
music.
Pearl Jam.
Yes.
I've
so.
seen everything from the Lilith Fair to BB King to fucking
Lilith-
Sepultura and Slayer.
Lilith
And
Fair.
everything.
Lilith Fair, right.
I did that to get laid, but I'm kidding. I actually like Sarah
I will
McLachlan.
tell you
Kim
though.
Swaffy.
When I was a young kid, I used to bawl my eyes out to Sarah McLachlan after a girl broke up with
Or
me.
Cheryl Crow.
You know? Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Adele. Whoever heard Adele?
Oh my
Jeez.
God. We
she
did
can sing.
it to Coldplay. It's fine. We did it to
I
Coldplay.
couldn't believe he went on for a fucking week after he went to Taylor Swift.
You know what?
He
I'm
was
so-
enamored, and you know
Fucking
what I
impressive,
get?
No,
man.
it's impressive.
Like, I couldn't believe his reaction. I'm like, okay.
I will say this: one of the best concerts I've ever went to was Britney Spears, the Circus tour.
I
I
went
went
to
with
that.
a friend. Was not expecting it, and I was talking about it for weeks afterwards too, because
So good.
fucking crazy stunts.
Me and Mish went to that. We were there.
Did you?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I want to hang out with you. Are we friends now? We can hang out a lot, I hope?
Yeah.
This is great.
We
Here's the
friends
joke.
now.
I was-
Did we
Really?
just become best friends?
Did we just become best? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we could do this all day, but I can't thank you enough. We've been chasing you down for a while, and I appreciate that you kept the commitment to us.
Yes, and I appreciate.
Our stupid little fucking taco store with Steve.
And I love that. We chased the time down for the show, but you think she's going to do a bartending shift.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I know.
You know what? I do have family.
I live
living
next
in
door.
Southport.
There you go.
And
yeah.
I don't show up.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, behind the blowhole, if you like what you hear, follow, share, Brady fucking Bunch. This is amazing. Can I be honest, one last thing in closing?
Oh, Jesus.
I may go home and fucking think of your breasts when I'm kissing my wife. I'm just kidding. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. Thank you much.